and welcome to Neptune Quay in Ipswich for the start of the 2012 Tour of Britain. And after such an incredible summer, never before has there been such an appetite for professional cycling on home soil. But if this year's race is going to live up to the excitement and drama of last year, well, it's going to have its work cut out. It started just the way you might have imagined. Mark Cavendish winning at the very first time of asking, taking the stage into Dumfries. The weather may not have been golden, but his jersey was. No sooner had it all got underway though than it got blown away. Appalling winds in Blackpool meant that all Mark Cavendish got up to that day was a visit to the ballroom. The music played on, but not the tour. When the race restarted, Sky and HTC High Road were so concerned with marking one another that they forgot to watch Rabobank, and Lars Boom bust the race apart. The leader's jersey he would not be parted with. They tried hard enough, but the Dutchman couldn't be shifted. Not in Caerphilly, where Steve Cummings attacked, only for Thor Hushovd to ride out the win in the rainbow jersey. And not on stage 5 either, where the race came together for a seaside sprint into Exmouth. Mark Renshaw and Mark Cavendish crossing the line in first and second, but the wrong way around this time. Any lingering doubts about the overall race lead were extinguished on stage 6 when Ian Bibby and Geraint Thomas took each other out and Lars Boom hammered home his superiority. Plain sailing then onto the Norfolk Broads and the breakaway, which stayed away. Gediminas Bagdonas getting the royal treatment into Sandringham. Lars Boom still the GC leader as the Tour juggernaut descended on the capital. 2 races in one day started with the individual time trial. Newly crowned British time trial champion Alex Dowsett gave Sky Pro Cycling a welcome boost before a rain-soaked crowd lined the streets of London and watched enthralled as the riders raced through Whitehall with a grandstand finish by the Manx missile to claim the stage victory. But the overall spoils went to the unstoppable Lars Boom. Well, Matt Stevens is with us for the duration of the tour. Good to see you, Matt. Last year, looking back, we came so close to getting a British winner, but Lars Boom, a worthy winner in the end. But what were some of the highlights for you?
I think the highlights for me was obviously seeing Mark Cavendish on British roads and winning a couple of stages, top and tail of the tour. And obviously Steve Cummings coming very, very close to second overall. Alex Dowsett winning the final time trial. And I just think the way it was raced, extremely aggressive, and the emergence of Tiernan Locke winning the King of the Mountains as well.
He'll be one to watch, of course.
Definitely.
Looking at this year's race then, they said last year was tough. This year they're saying could be the hardest ever. Definitely.
You're looking at the terrain, it's a real mixed bag. We're going up to the Scottish borders in a couple of days' time, and the weather forecast is quite poor, so that's going to be a spectacular day, I think. Another crucial stage is going to be the double header down in Caerphilly, twice up the mountain. Last year it was just once, so I think we'll definitely see some splits in the peloton there. Then, of course, moving down into Devon with the steep climbs and twisty roads, that is going to be an absolute decider.
And there's plenty for the sprinters too?
Definitely, of course. You know, a really big classics finale on the final day in Guildford, up the cobbled hill, and of course today could be one for the sprinters as well, nice and flat.
You mentioned the Scottish borders. It goes right past my family home up near Jedburgh. Up there, it's gorgeous up there, but I know already the crowds will be out, the schools are going to send all the kids down. I think the riders will be surprised at the reception they receive this year.
I mean, last year I was a manager on the race and I was absolutely overwhelmed by the crowds, but obviously with the Cav effect, Bradley winning the Tour and our wonderful Olympics, it's going to be extremely exciting, and I've no doubt the crowds are going to be out in force.
Well, the crowds will be pleased to see so many stellar names in the peloton. Obviously, the reigning world champion Mark Cavendish is a definite one to watch, sporting the rainbow jersey for the last time before defending his world championship title in Holland next week. A double stage winner last year, bookending the tour with sprint wins on the opening and closing stages. He'll be bidding to add to that tally this week. He'll be supported on the road by Sky teammate and 4 times Olympic champion and Tour de France winner Bradley Wiggins, who's sure to draw out the crowds over the next 7 days. He'll enjoy a hero's welcome across the country. Look out for Endura Racing's Tiernan Locke. The young rider won the King of the Mountains classification in last year's race and is tipped for big things this time around. The 2008 Olympic road race champion and Grand Tour stage winner Sammy Sanchez is here for the first time with his team Euskaltel Euskadi. Sanchez crashed out of the Tour de France, so he couldn't defend his Olympic title in London. So